Live. I see it.
Yeah.
We're live. That's Saturday. Oh, it's not Saturday.
That's not Saturday. We can try to be as funny. I'm just not as funny as you are on the show. So. Well, I'm here with, of course, Golden Globe winner Taraji P. Henson, or as you know, the rest of the world. Oh,
what happened?
Do you hear?
I don't hear anything.
Sorry, all right, there we go. Sorry, we had a little glitch there. But I'm here with Golden Globe winner Taraji P. Henson, or as the world knows you now as Cookie Lyon. Was that Golden Globe win a shock to you?
I never looked to win anything, so yeah, it was.
And I mean, it was your first nomination, your first win, and also must have been pretty special was you guys were nominated, the only network series nominated for Best Drama Series. You were there with your whole cast celebrating at the table. I imagine it was kind of a great scene to be at.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, whenever you're included in the elite, in the elite crowd of Hollywood, you feel special. Because I mean, who works to be in the not in crowd? You know, you want to be in the in crowd.
Well, I mean, you've been at this for a very long time. I mean, you've had quite an expansive career.
Who's counting? Hush up, honey. Who's counting?
Well, since you were a teenager 10 years ago, you've been in this.
Exactly.
Let's say that.
There you go.
Well, I mean, Empire, is obviously a major hit. It kind of started almost like a high-speed train. It started off and the ratings were really good, and then just every week during the first season, it just kind of expanded and kept going. And you guys were, your number one show on television. You guys had, by the end of the first season, you guys hit ratings that hadn't been seen in over a decade. You yourself received a Critics' Choice Award in 2015, a TCA nomination, and an Emmy nomination for your performance. Did you guys, going into season 2 at that point, feel any kind of pressure at all to kind of exceed or meet what you did in season 1, and especially since you went from 12 episodes to 19 episodes?
I'm sure there was pressure, but I denounced it because I figured, we're not going to try to fix what's not broken, and we're not going to get ahead of ourselves, and we're just going to stay in our lane and continue what we've been doing in season 1, and that's just give the people good TV, stuff to talk about at the water cooler at work. So that's what I was certainly focused on. It wasn't about outdoing ourselves or, just maintain. Let's just stay the course. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Now, your chemistry with your co-star Terrence Howard, who plays Lucius on the show, is obviously, I mean, it's been there for very long. But your chemistry with your 3 boys, Jesse Smollett, Bashir Gray, and Trey Byers, is I mean, especially this year, it just seems like it's kind of exploded. Like, I know you have a son yourself. Mm-hmm. Do you draw on that to kind of form that bond with those 3, or how did that work out so well?
Well, 2 things. I have to say that it's in me. I'm a mother. Once you're a mother, you're always a mother. But I also owe it to the writing and the casting. They cast these 3 boys perfectly. And when I met them, we all just took on our own separate relationships like you do as a mother of more than one sibling. Now that I have no experience in. I have 1 child, 1, set of emotions, 1 personality to deal with, not 3. So that I always wondered about. I have girlfriends who have more than 1 child. So I was very intrigued with how you respond to each child, and you just respond to them each very differently. But that's in the writing, so I just thank the incredible writers, and I thank them for casting these 3 incredible actors that I get to play with. And they're all in the pocket. They all do their job. They all challenge me. They're great. I love working with them. And they've all become sort of like my boys in real life. I slap their asses all the time.
In true Cookie fashion.
Yes.
With that broom, you got it with you at all times, right?
Yes.
Well, speaking of Cookie, I mean, once you got that pilot script, did you know, and a lot of it is a testament to you. Did you know that on the paper you had this character that was going to become just an icon?
No, I did not. First, I thought people would hate her. I mean, she calls one son a faggot who is gay. I mean, she beats one son with a broom. She came out of jail talking crazy. She went to jail, first of all, for selling crack. I just was like, people are going to hate this woman. But then, that's the fear that comes up. And whenever something makes me scared or, there's a fear that rises, I feel like I have to conquer it. So that was just a sign that said, look further and look deeper. Like, people, there are reasons why people become the way they are. There's a history behind that. And I think when you pay attention to that and you breathe truth into that, the history behind why this woman did this, then people empathize. They don't judge. And I think that's what I felt like it was my job to portray her so that people would not judge her. Because if I played her with sass and, no one would get her. But if I played her with an urgency to save her family, who doesn't understand that?
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the theme that, at least that I noticed through the second season, was, we know Empire as just this grandiose big show. It's got a lot of drama in it. It's got a lot of great music that, continues to be #1 on iTunes. But at the core of it, I think, or at least I saw this year, that it's really a family drama. Like, it's all about family and coming together. Was that I mean, it's interesting how you guys are able to weed all of the big noises away and make that. Is that hard to do with such outlandish stuff, or is it?
I think in the beginning of the second season, we tried something different where who's going to be on the show? So-and-so's going to be on the show. So-and-so's going to be on the show. And it lost a little bit of that authenticity that it had the first season because it was just about the family and their struggles. And I think, that's what you do. The second season is trial. You try to see, let's try this, let's try that. And we realized that, no, people love the family. So once we got back to that, you started to see the numbers rise again. And then it was like, oh, see, it really is just about the family. And look at this amazing cast. I mean.
Yeah. And the guest stars you guys have are just incredible.
I mean, but it was still very important that we focus more about the family. And I think we got a handle of that towards the middle of the second season.
Now, by all accounts, you yourself are a movie star. I mean, just last year alone, you had 2 films that opened #1, No Good Deed and Think Like a Man 2. You're a past Oscar nominee, Screen Actors Guild nominee for Queenie on Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which you also should have been an Oscar nominee for Hustle and Flow.
Thank you.
I mean, that. Yeah, you should have joined Lucius for that nomination. You can see Terrence Howard had gotten
away. Men first, child. You know how they are.
And then back in 2011, you joined Person of Interest as Detective Josh Carter. And what's interesting is that at that point, you didn't really see this influx of these movie stars coming into television. But television has become so diverse now, and the writing is so good. How did you, was that something that you had always planned, or how did you notice that something like that was going to come up, that TV was going to be what it is?
I don't even like television. I like to watch it. I don't like this grueling schedule. And I love films because you get to take time. The scenes can breathe. There's no rush. There's not another script coming at you. You just have the story right there in those 100 or so, whatever pages. And so I prefer feature because it's like, again, it's not a mad race. TV is crazy. It's like a factory. It's like you go to work every day and it's these long, crazy hours, and it just seems like it never ends because it goes on for however many months, because if you're doing a show for 22 episodes, that's your whole life for a year, basically, Yeah. So I left Person of Interest and I went to do a play. And my manager was calling me, bothering me about this script from TV. And I told him, don't you know that's why I left TV? I fought it. I would not read Empire for a week, Pam? For like a week, I made him sweat. He was like, are you crazy? You gotta read. I was like, didn't I tell you I was done with TV? And so one day, it was after a long rehearsal. And theater is no joke. The fact that I had time to even sit and read this script. So I sit down and I couldn't stop turning the page. Well, first I sat down and I was like, this is corny hip hop. This is stupid. What is this? And then it got to the point where I got to the part where Cookie gets out of jail, and I just couldn't put it down. And again, like I said, the influx of fear that took over me, and I had to, you know, put it in its place and really figure out what I could do to this character to make her real so that people wouldn't hate her.
Well, I mean, it's obviously it's paid off, and luckily you did take the part because, I mean, Cookie is now, like I said, iconic. You won a Golden Globe recently. You've been nominated for an Emmy. You've been nominated for a Critics' Choice and won a Critics' Choice. You were a 2015 Image Award Entertainer of the Year, which was a huge honor. And it also seemed like you were very shocked. And you know, you won this year for Drama Actress, Online Film Television Association. I don't know how you keep track of this stuff. Television Critics Awards.
Not that I don't know. What else?
And you know, and then the Emmys are coming up. We're about to go to this event for Empire Emmy consideration. Do you? And you already know if you are nominated again, which we're predicting at Gold Derby that you will be. You have to submit one episode. Did you have an episode in mind of season 2 that you would submit to voters?
I think I would submit episode 17 because that's where you see Cookie go through every range of emotion. I was like, really? What else would you like for me to do in this episode? Yeah, that's the one right before the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rise by Sin.
Yes, that's the one for me, I think.
That's the one. That's the one you got to do because that is a great episode, and especially that last half. You were incredible. And then just to wrap it up, because I know you have to get to the event. In your speeches, be it the Entertainer of the Year one or the Golden Globe one, you always give a nod to your fans. And I know there are droves of them, and especially now with Cookie. I always see you engaged also on social media, whether it be Instagram or Twitter. A lot of big stars don't do that kind of stuff. Like, what is your reasoning for that? I mean, besides that they're helping your career, but how important are they?
It's not even that they're helping my career. I mean, I'm just naturally a people person. I mean, and I think that the reason I never even really wanted to join social media. I like to stay below the radar. How I got on social media was I had 2 accounts on FaceTime that equaled out to 700,000 eyeballs. And it wasn't me. And they started requesting money for charities, which were bogus. And so then I had to get involved legally. My lawyers will shut it down. But then I had a person who was telling me about the social media takeoff, and you shouldn't get rid of these. We need to get those numbers and get an account for you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. But then it piqued my interest, and Twitter came along. So I hopped on Twitter, and then I was like, wow, what a way to engage with my fans in a way, where they don't even know how funny I am. Because I would say little funny tweets in the beginning. They were like, oh my God, girl, you funny. Because, the characters that I play really didn't show me in a comedic light. And so that's what made me fall in love, because I was like, this is a way for me to engage and interact with my fans and show them a different side of me. And so now all of this, girl, you funny, because I haven't really done a comedy, really, So the notion that Taraji is funny really came from social media, which I really am, but.
Well, maybe after Cookie, that's your next project.
Well, that's what I'm working on.
Oh, well, great. Well, like I said, I know you're short on time, so we want to thank you for joining us. Best of luck at the Emmys this year, and we hope you join us again soon.
Thank you. I'm sure I will. Take care.